First contact and rescue. The vastness of space stretched out before Captain Sarah Chen as she guided her ship, the Earthstar, through the asteroid belt of the Epsilon Eridani system. It was supposed to be a routine survey mission, but Sarah's instincts told her something was off. The asteroid field was too quiet, too still. "Liam, are you picking up any unusual readings?" Sarah called out to her science officer. Liam Mackenzie, a lanky Scotsman with a shock of red hair, hunched over his console. "Nothing out of the ordinary, Captain." But he paused, frowning at his screen. "Wait a moment. There's a faint energy signature coming from that large asteroid at 2 o'clock. Sarah's eyes narrowed as she focused on the asteroid in question. It was larger than the others, its surface pockmarked and scarred. "Could be nothing," she mused, "but let's check it out. Yara, take us in closer." Lieutenant Yara Okafor, the ship's pilot, nodded and deftly maneuvered the Earthstar towards the asteroid. As they drew nearer, Sarah felt a prickle of anticipation run down her spine. Something about this didn't feel like a normal survey anymore. Suddenly, Liam's console erupted in a cacophony of beeps and alarms. "Captain, the energy signature just spiked. It's a distress signal." Sarah leaned forward in her chair, adrenaline surging through her veins. "Origin?" "It's not one of ours," Liam replied, his voice tinged with awe. "The signal pattern is completely alien." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had been exploring space for decades, but they had yet to encounter intelligent alien life. Until now. "Right," Sarah said, breaking the tension. "Let's not jump to conclusions. It could be an automated signal from an ancient probe. Yara, bring us alongside the asteroid." Liam scanned for any signs of life or technology. As the Earthstar glided into position, Sarah stood and moved to the view screen. The asteroid's cratered surface filled the display, its gray, lifeless expanse revealing nothing unusual to the naked eye. "Captain," Liam called out, his voice tight with excitement. "I'm detecting a small structure embedded in the asteroid. It appears to be some kind of ship or escape pod. And there's a life sign inside. Faint, but definitely there." Sarah's heart raced. This was it. First contact. "All right, people. This is not a drill. We're going to attempt a rescue. Liam, you're with me. Yara, keep the ship steady. Dr. Tanaka, prep the medbay for a possible alien patient." As Sarah and Liam donned their EVA suits, the captain's mind whirled with possibilities. Who, or what, would they find in that pod? Were they friendly? Hostile? In need of help? There was only one way to find out. The airlock hissed open, and Sarah stepped out into the void, magnetic boots clamping onto the Earthstar's hull. With practiced ease, she activated her suit's propulsion system and glided towards the asteroid, Liam close behind. As they neared the structure Liam had detected, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. It was unmistakably artificial, a sleek, silvery pod about the size of a small shuttle, half buried in the asteroid's rocky surface. Its design was like nothing she'd ever seen, all smooth curves and iridescent patterns that seemed to shift in the starlight. "It's beautiful," Liam whispered over the comm. Sarah nodded, then focused on the task at hand. "Let's find a way in. Look for an airlock or hatch." They circled the pod, their helmet lights illuminating its alien surface. Finally, Sarah spotted what looked like a sealed doorway. "Here," she said, gesturing to Liam. "Help me with this." Together, they worked to clear away the debris covering the hatch. As they removed the last boulder, the door suddenly lit up with a soft, pulsing blue light. Strange symbols appeared on its surface, shifting and rearranging themselves. "It's reacting to our presence," Liam said, his voice filled with wonder. Before Sarah could respond, the hatch slid open with a soft hiss. The interior of the pod was dark, save for a faint, flickering light emanating from what appeared to be a control panel. "Hello," Sarah called out, her voice sounding tinny through her suit's speakers. "We're here to help. Can anyone hear me?" For a moment, there was only silence. Then, a weak voice responded, not in any language Sarah recognized, but in a series of musical tones and clicks. "The universal translator isn't picking it up," Liam said, "but that's definitely a sentient response." Sarah nodded, then slowly entered the pod, Liam right behind her. As their eyes adjusted to the dim light, they saw a figure slumped in what looked like a pilot's seat. It was humanoid, but clearly alien. Its skin was a pale lavender, and instead of hair, a crown of delicate, feather-like tendrils adorned its head. The alien's eyes fluttered open, revealing irises that shimmered like opals. Sarah somehow knew, looked at them with a mixture of fear and hope. "It's okay," Sarah said softly, holding up her hands in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "We're here to help you." The alien's eyes widened, then she raised a trembling hand and pointed to a flashing red light on the control panel. Even without understanding the alien language, Sarah got the message. Something was very wrong. "Liam, see if you can figure out what that warning light means," Sarah ordered as she moved closer to the alien. Up close, she could see that the creature was injured, a dark purple fluid, blood, seeping from a gash on its arm. As Liam examined the control panel, Sarah opened the med kit on her belt and pulled out a universal sealing agent. She held it up to the alien, mimicking the action of applying it to the wound. The alien hesitated, then nodded, extending its injured arm. Just as Sarah began treating the wound, Liam's voice cracked over the comm. "Captain, we've got a problem. This pod's life support is failing. We've got maybe 10 minutes before it shuts down completely." Sarah's mind raced. They couldn't leave the alien here, but they had no idea if their own life support systems would be compatible. It was a risk they'd have to take. "Oh right, change of plans. We're bringing her back to the Earth Star. Liam, help me get her into a precious suit." As they worked to secure the alien in one of their spare EVA suits, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of something much bigger. Who was this alien? Why was she here, alone in an escape pod? And what kind of danger had she fled from? With the alien secure, they made their way back to the Earth Star. As they entered the airlock, Sarah took one last look at the mysterious pod embedded in the asteroid. Whatever answers it held would have to wait. Right now, their priority was saving a life. As the inner airlock door opened, Sarah was met by Dr. Tanaka and a medical team. The doctor's eyes widened at the sight of their alien guest, but to her credit, she quickly regained her composure. "Get her to medbay," Sarah ordered. "Do whatever you can to stabilize her condition. Liam, I want a full report on everything you observed in that pod. Yara, set a course back to Earth. Whatever's going on here, Starfleet Command needs to know about it." As the medical team whisked the alien away, Sarah allowed herself a moment to absorb the magnitude of what had just happened. They had made first contact. They had saved an alien life. And in doing so, they had catapulted humanity into a new era of interstellar relations. But as Sarah looked out at the stars, she couldn't shake the feeling that they had also stumbled into something far more complex and dangerous than they could have ever imagined. Whatever had driven that alien to flee in an escape pod was still out there, and Sarah had a sinking feeling that it wouldn't be long before they found out what it was. With a deep breath, she straightened her uniform and headed for the med bay. There was work to be done and history to be made. The universe had just gotten a whole lot bigger, and humanity was about to prove itself on an interstellar stage. Quantum entanglement and alien revelations. The medbay of the Earth Star hummed with an electric tension as Dr. Ayako Tanaka hovered over her alien patient. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the foot of the biobed, her eyes fixed on the unconscious lavender-skinned being. "Report, Doctor," Sarah said, her voice low but steady. Dr. Tanaka looked up, her brow furrowed. "It's remarkable, Captain. Her physiology is unlike anything I've ever seen. Her cellular structure seems to be in a constant state of quantum flux. Quantum flux? Sarah echoed, raising an eyebrow. Yes, the doctor replied, excitement creeping into her voice. It's as if her very atoms are entangled with something else, something not here. Before Sarah could respond, Liam burst into the med bay, his red hair disheveled and his eyes wide with excitement. "Captain, you're not going to believe this," he said, brandishing a data pad. "I've been analyzing the pod's technology, and it's beyond anything we've ever encountered. The entire structure is composed of a material I'm calling quantum alloy. It can alter its molecular structure in real time." Sarah's mind reeled at the implications. "Are you saying the pod could change its shape?" Liam nodded vigorously. "Not just its shape, Captain, its very nature. One moment it's harder than diamond, the next it's as permeable as a soap bubble, and that's not even the most incredible part." "What could possibly top that?" Sarah asked, a mix of awe and trepidation in her voice. "The pod's propulsion system," Liam said, lowering his voice as if sharing a profound secret. "It doesn't use any form of conventional thrust. Instead, it seems to manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. It's not traveling through space, Captain. It's folding space around it." A heavy silence fell over the med bay as the implications sank in. Technology like this could revolutionize space travel, redefine humanity's understanding of physics, and completely alter the balance of power in the galaxy. The quiet was broken by a soft, melodic sound. The alien was stirring, her opalescent eyes fluttering open. She looked around, confusion and fear evident on her delicate features. Sarah stepped forward, her hands raised in a calming gesture. "It's all right," she said softly. "You're safe now. We rescued you from your pod." The alien's eyes locked onto Sarah, and suddenly, the captain felt a presence in her mind. It wasn't invasive, but rather like a gentle knock on a door. "She's telepathic," Sarah gasped, looking at Dr. Tanaka and Liam in amazement. The alien's melodic voice filled Sarah's thoughts. "Thank you for saving me," she said, her mental voice tinged with both gratitude and urgency. "But you don't understand the danger you've put yourselves in." "What danger?" Sarah asked aloud, her crew looking at her in confusion. "Who are you? What are you running from?" The alien sat up, her feather-like tendrils swaying with the movement. "My name is Zara," she said, her thoughts now projecting to everyone in the room. "I am a quantum architect from a race known as the Lumina, and I am being hunted by a force that threatens not just my people, but all sentient life in the galaxy." Liam stepped forward, his eyes wide with curiosity. "The quantum entanglement in your cells, the technology in your pod, it's all connected, isn't it?" Zara nodded, a sad smile on her face. "We Lumina exist partially in this dimension and partially in another. Our technology, our very beings, are intertwined with the quantum fabric of the universe. It gives us great power, but it also makes us a target." "A target for whom?" Sarah asked, a sense of dread growing in her stomach. "We call them the Void Eaters," Zara replied, her mental voice trembling slightly. "They are ancient beings that exist in the spaces between dimensions. They feed on quantum energy, on the very essence of reality itself, and they set their sights on this galaxy." Dr. Tanaka gasped. "That's why your life support was failing. They were draining your pod's energy." Zara nodded grimly. "Yes, I barely escaped their last attack. I am one of the last of my kind, carrying knowledge that could help stop the Void Eaters. But I fear I've only led them to a new feeding ground, your Earth." Sarah's mind raced with the implications. Humanity had just made first contact, only to find themselves potentially in the crosshairs of a cosmic threat they could barely comprehend. "How can we stop them?" Sarah asked, her voice filled with determination. "There must be a way." Zara's eyes seemed to glow with an inner light. "There might be. My people developed the technology we call the quantum forge. It can manipulate reality on a fundamental level, potentially sealing the rifts the Void Eaters use to enter our dimension. but its creation requires resources and knowledge beyond what my people alone possess. Liam's eyes lit up with excitement. A collaboration between our species, combining Lumina quantum mastery with human innovation and resourcefulness. Sarah nodded, a plan already forming in her mind. We'll need to convince Starfleet Command of the threat. Zora, can you provide evidence of these Void Eaters? Better than that, Zara replied, her mental voice growing stronger. I can show you. With a gesture of her delicate hand, the air in the medbay seemed to ripple and tear. Through the rift, they saw a vision of swirling, chaotic darkness, punctuated by flashes of impossible geometries and colors that hurt the eyes to look upon. At the center of the maelstrom, vast, shadowy forms moved with malevolent purpose. As quickly as it appeared, the vision vanished, leaving the humans shaken but filled with a newfound resolve. We're going to need a bigger ship, Liam muttered, breaking the tension. Sarah squared her shoulders, her eyes blazing with determination. No, what we need is an alliance. Humanity and Lumina, standing together against a threat to all existence. She turned to Zara, extending her hand in a gesture of partnership. Will you help us defend our galaxy? Zara reached out, her slender fingers intertwining with Sarah's. In that moment of contact, Sarah felt a surge of energy, as if the very quantum fabric of the universe was acknowledging their alliance. Together, Zara said, her mental voice resonating with hope, we might just stand a chance. As the Earthstar altered course, heading back to Earth with its revolutionary passenger and world-changing information, Sarah couldn't help but feel that this was the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure. They were about to leap onto the galactic stage, armed with new allies, incredible technology, and the innate human spirit that had taken them to the stars in the first place. The Void Eaters were coming, but humanity, with its newfound Lumina allies, would be ready to face them. The battle for the very fabric of reality was about to begin, and humanity was determined to prove that they were more than up to the challenge. Quantum fusion and the stellar forge. The Earthstar streaked through the cosmos, its engines pushed to their limits. But Captain Sarah Chen knew they weren't moving fast enough, not with the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance. Liam, she called out, her voice tense. Any progress on integrating Zora's quantum technology with our propulsion systems? The red-headed scientist looked up from his console, his eyes blazing with excitement. Captain, what we're attempting here is like trying to merge a horse-drawn carriage with a quantum computer. But a grin spread across his face. I think we've cracked it. Sarah leaned forward, hope rising in her chest. Explain. Liam's fingers danced across his holographic display, bringing up a complex schematic. We're calling it quantum fusion drive. By entangling our conventional matter-antimatter reactor with Zora's quantum alloy, we can create micro-wormholes within the engine itself. We're not just pushing the ship faster, we're literally shortening the distance between points in space-time. Zora, who had been silently observing, stepped forward. Her lavender skin seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Your species continues to amaze me, Sarah Chen. To grasp such concepts so quickly, it's unprecedented. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Humanity has always been good at adapting. It's how we've survived this long. Her expression turned serious again. How soon can we implement this quantum fusion drive? That's the best part, Liam said, practically bouncing with enthusiasm. It's ready now. We can. He was cut off by a piercing alarm. Red warning lights bathed the bridge in an ominous glow. Multiple spatial rifts detected. Yara shouted from the helm. Massive energy signatures emerging. Sarah's blood ran cold. The Void Eaters. The viewscreen flickered to life, showing a terrifying sight. The fabric of space itself seemed to tear open, revealing swirling vortexes of absolute darkness. From these cosmic wounds emerged shapes that defied description, writhing masses of shadow and unlight, their very presence seeming to drain the color from the stars around them. Evasive maneuvers, Sarah ordered, her mind racing. Liam, we need that quantum fusion drive now. As Yara's hands flew across the controls, the Earthstar banked hard, narrowly avoiding a tendril of void energy that reached out for them. The ship shuddered, the metal of its hull groaning under forces it was never designed to withstand. "Drive is online," Liam shouted. "But Captain, we haven't tested it. The risks are nothing compared to what happens if those things catch us," Sarah cut him off. "Do it." Liam nodded, his face set with determination. He pressed a series of commands into his console, and for a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, the entire ship began to vibrate at a frequency that set Sarah's teeth on edge. "Quantum entanglement established," Zara announced, her mental voice tinged with awe. "The micro-wormholes are forming within the engine core." Suddenly, the stars on the view screen began to stretch and blur. Sarah felt a sensation like her entire body was being gently pulled in every direction at once. There was a flash of light that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, and then silence. The view screen showed an unfamiliar starfield. The Void Eaters were nowhere to be seen. "Report," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. Yara's fingers flew across her console. We've traveled over 500 light-years in less than 10 seconds, she said, her voice filled with disbelief. A cheer went up from the crew, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they had only bought themselves a temporary reprieve. "Zara," she said, turning to their alien ally, "you mentioned a quantum forge. Is there one nearby that we can reach?" Zara's opalescent eyes seemed to look inward for a moment. "Yes," she said finally. "There is an ancient Lumina outpost in this sector. It houses one of the last quantum forges in existence. But Sarah," she hesitated, "the forge is not merely a device. It's a place where the fabric of reality wears thin. Using it will be dangerous." "More dangerous than facing the Void Eaters unprepared?" Sarah asked, raising an eyebrow. Zara conceded the point with a nod. "Very well, I can guide us there." As they set course for the Lumin outpost, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of anticipation and dread. They were about to step into a realm of science and power beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. Hours later, the Earthstar approached a massive structure floating in the void between stars. It defied conventional geometry, its shape seeming to shift and change even as they watched. Streams of energy in impossible colors flowed across its surface. "The Stellar Forge," Zara said, her mental voice filled with reverence. "One of the greatest creations of my people." As they drew closer, Sarah felt a tingling sensation across her skin. The laws of physics themselves seemed to be in flux here. "Captain," Liam called out, his voice tight with concern, "I'm detecting massive energy fluctuations. It's like reality itself is rippling around us." Zara nodded. "The forge exists partially outside normal space-time. It's the only way it can manipulate quantum reality on the scale needed to create defenses against the Void Eaters." Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself. "All right, Zara, Liam, you're with me. We're going to board that station and find a way to save the galaxy." She turned to Yara. "Lieutenant, keep the ship at a safe distance. If anything goes wrong, get our people home." As Sarah, Liam, and Zara donned specially modified EVA suits designed to protect them from the quantum fluctuations, the captain couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to change the course of history. They were stepping into a realm where the lines between science and magic blurred, where the fundamental forces of the universe could be shaped by will and knowledge. The airlocks cycled, and they stepped out onto the surface of the Stellar Forge. Gravity seemed to be more of a suggestion here than a law. They walked on a surface that shimmered and shifted beneath their feet, the very atoms dancing in patterns too complex to comprehend. As they made their way deeper into the structure, Sarah saw wonders that defied description. Rooms where time flowed backwards, corridors that looped in on themselves in impossible ways, and chambers where matter spontaneously formed and dissolved. Finally, they reached the heart of the forge. A massive, pulsating core of pure energy hung suspended in the center of a vast spherical chamber. Streams of quantum data flowed around it in intricate patterns. "This is it," Zara said, her mental voice filled with awe. "The quantum core. With this, we can create a weapon capable of sealing the rifts the Void Eaters used to enter our reality." But as they approached the core, alarms began to blare. The entire structure shuddered violently. "No," Zara gasped. "They've found us. The Void Eaters are here." Sarah's mind raced. They were out of time. The weapon wasn't ready, and the greatest source of hope for the galaxy was about to be devoured by cosmic horrors. In that moment, Sarah Chen made a decision that would echo across the cosmos. "Liam," she said, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. "Overload the quantum fusion drive. We're going to give the Void Eaters indigestion." Lion's eyes widened as he realized what she was suggesting. "Captain, the amount of energy released, it could tear a hole in the universe itself." "Exactly," Sarah said, a grim smile on her face. "Let's see how these interdimensional horrors like a taste of their own medicine." As Liam worked frantically to modify the drive, Zara interfaced with the quantum core, her consciousness merging with the vast database of Lumina knowledge. Sarah stood watch, her blaster drawn, ready to face whatever nightmares might emerge from the encroaching darkness. The fate of not just humanity, but all sentient life in the galaxy, now rested on the shoulders of three unlikely allies and their desperate gambit. As the walls of reality began to buckle around them, Sarah Chen steeled herself for the fight of her life, a battle that would determine the very nature of existence itself. Chronoshift paradox and the multiversal nexus. The stellar forge shuddered violently as reality itself seemed to warp and twist around them. Captain Sarah Chen, Liam Mackenzie, and their alien ally Zara stood at the precipice of existence, the void hungry to consume them. "Liam, status on the quantum fusion drive overload." Sarah shouted over the cacophony of alarms and the mind-bending screech of tearing space-time. "Almost there, Captain," Liam yelled back, his fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. "But there's a problem. The energy release won't just tear a hole in the universe, it's creating a chronoshift paradox." Zara's mental voice cut through the chaos, tinged with both fear and excitement. "A chronoshift paradox? That's theoretically impossible." "Yeah, well, tell that to the laws of physics," Liam retorted. "When the drive overloads, it's not just going to affect space, it's going to shatter our timeline. Past, present, and future are about to collide." Sarah's mind raced. They had hoped to give the Void Eaters a taste of their own medicine, but this was beyond anything they had anticipated. Can we control it? Zara's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as she interfaced deeper with the quantum core. Perhaps, yes. The stellar forge, it's more than just a weapon. It's a multiversal nexus point. "In English, please," Sarah demanded, ducking as a tendril of pure void energy lashed out at them. "It's a crossroads of realities," Zara explained hurriedly. "A place where all possible timelines intersect. If we can harness the chronoshift paradox and channel it through the nexus, we could rewrite reality itself," Liam finished, his eyes wide with the implications. A plan began to form in Sarah's mind, audacious, impossible, and their only hope. "All right, listen up. We're going to ride this paradox. Liam, when the drive overloads, don't fight the temporal distortion. Zara, use the quantum core to guide us through the nexus. We're going to surf the time stream." As if in response to her words, the fabric of reality began to fracture around them. Through the cracks, Sarah caught glimpses of other times, other possibilities. Earth untouched by human civilization, a galaxy where the Void Eaters had already won, versions of herself making different choices at key moments in her life. "Chronoshift initiating," Liam called out. "Brace for temporal displacement." Sarah felt a sensation like being stretched across an infinity of moments, her consciousness fragmenting and reforming with each passing nanosecond. She saw the birth and death of stars, the rise and fall of civilizations, the very beginning and end of the universe itself. Through it all, she clung to her purpose, her will becoming an anchor in the chaotic sea of time and possibility. She could feel Liam and Zara beside her, their minds linked by the impossible energies surging around them. And then suddenly, everything stopped. They found themselves standing in a vast, impossible space. Streams of temporal energy flowed around them like rivers of light. Countless realities stretched out in every direction, each a window into a different version of the universe. The multiversal nexus, Zara breathed, her mental voice filled with awe. We did it. We're at the crossroads of all realities. But their victory was short-lived. A terrible, otherworldly screech echoed through the nexus, and Sarah watched in horror as the Void Eaters began to materialize. Here, at the heart of all realities, they were more terrible than ever, vast, shadowy forms that seemed to devour light and hope itself. They followed us through the paradox. Liam shouted, his face pale with fear. Sarah's mind raced. They were at the center of all possibilities, with the power to reshape reality itself at their fingertips. But the Void Eaters were closing in, ready to consume not just their universe, but all universes. In that moment of crisis, Sarah Chen made a decision that would echo across the multiverse. Zara, Liam, we need to split up. Each of us needs to enter a different timeline, find the best version of humanity, and bring them here. We're going to build an army across realities. Liam's eyes widened. Captain, the temporal ramifications are better than letting all of existence be devoured, Sarah cut him off. Go. Find the best of humanity in any reality, any time. We'll need soldiers, scientists, leaders, anyone who can help us fight these cosmic horrors. Without another word, they split up, each diving into a different stream of temporal energy. Sarah found herself hurtling through possibility after possibility, catching glimpses of humanity's infinite potential. She pulled a hardened veteran from a timeline where Earth had fallen to alien invaders, his tactical knowledge and indomitable spirit making him a perfect soldier against the void. From another reality, she recruited a brilliant scientist who had unlocked the secrets of dark matter manipulation, her innovations promising to revolutionize their weapons against the cosmic threat. A charismatic leader from a world where humanity had achieved perfect unity joined their cause, his ability to inspire and coordinate across cultural boundaries an invaluable asset. As Sarah gathered her team of cross-dimensional heroes, she could sense Liam and Zara doing the same, each assembling a group of humanity's finest from across the multiverse. They reconvened at the heart of the Nexus, now accompanied by a diverse array of humans from countless realities. Some wore powered armor that put their own technology to shame, others wielded weapons that could rewrite the laws of physics, and still others brought knowledge and abilities that seemed like magic. But the Void Eaters were closing in, their shadowy forms threatening to engulf the Nexus itself. Listen up, Sarah called out, her voice carrying across realities. I know you're all from different worlds, different times, but right now you're humanity's last hope, not just for one universe, but for all of them. The Void Eaters threaten all of existence, and we're the only ones who can stop them. A cheer went up from the assembled multiversal army, a sound that echoed across dimensions. As the Void Eaters launched their assault on the Nexus, Sarah raised her weapon, a reality-warping device given to her by one of her recruits. For humanity, she cried. For all of existence. The battle that followed defied description, a war fought not just across space, but across time and possibility. Weapons that could erase entire timelines clashed with void-infused monstrosities. Scientists from 1,000 worlds worked frantically to unravel the secrets of the Nexus as warriors held the line against cosmic horrors. And at the heart of it all stood Sarah Chen, Leah Mackenzie and Zara, three unlikely allies from a single timeline, now the linchpins in a conflict that would determine the fate of the entire multiverse. As reality itself trembled under the weight of their impossible battle, Sarah allowed herself a moment of grim satisfaction. Humanity had been thrust onto a cosmic stage, facing an enemy that threatened all of existence. And true to form, they were rising to the challenge, proving that the human spirit was a force to be reckoned with across all of time and space. The war for reality itself had begun, and humanity was determined to write its own destiny among the stars. Quantum consciousness and the cosmic reboot. The multiversal nexus blazed with the fury of a trillion suns as the battle for all existence raged on. Captain Sarah Chen, at the head of her cross-dimensional army of humanity's finest, fought with everything she had against the encroaching Void Eaters. But even as they struck down one cosmic horror, two more seemed to take its place. "We can't keep this up forever," Liam shouted over the cacophony of reality-warping weapons and the screeching of interdimensional monstrosities. "The Nexus is becoming unstable. If it collapses, it'll take every timeline with it." Sarah gritted her teeth, her mind racing for a solution. They had assembled the greatest minds and warriors from across the multiverse, but even that wasn't enough. They needed something more, something the Void Eaters couldn't anticipate or counter. Suddenly, Zara's mental voice cut through the chaos, tinged with a mixture of fear and excitement. "Sarah, Liam, I've made a discovery in the quantum core. It's beyond anything we've ever conceived." "Kind of busy right now, Zara," Sarah called back, narrowly dodging a tendril of void energy that threatened to erase her from existence. "You don't understand," Zara insisted. "The quantum core, it's not just a weapon or a power source, it's a seed of consciousness, a proto-mind that exists across all realities simultaneously." Liam's eyes widened with realization. "A quantum consciousness? That's impossible." "Evidently not," Sarah retorted. "Zara, what are you suggesting?" The alien's mental voice trembled with the weight of her words. "We can use the core to elevate our consciousness to a quantum state. We wouldn't just be fighting the Void Eaters, we'd be operating on their level, existing across all dimensions simultaneously." The implications hit Sarah like a supernova. It was audacious, insane, and possibly their only hope. "What's the catch?" she asked, knowing there had to be one. Zara hesitated. "Once we initiate the process, there's no going back. Our individual selves, our timelines, everything we know. It would all merge into a singular quantum entity. We become one with the multiverse itself." A heavy silence fell over them, punctuated only by the sounds of battle raging around them. They were being asked to sacrifice everything they were, everything they had ever known, for the sake of all existence. Sarah looked at her ragtag army, humans from countless realities, each fighting with the indomitable spirit that defined their species across all timelines. She thought of Earth, of all the Earths, and the trillions of lives hanging in the balance. "Do it," she said, her voice steady with resolve. Liam and Zara nodded, their faces a mixture of fear and determination. As one, they made their way to the quantum core, dodging attacks and retaliating against the Void Eaters as they went. "Everyone, fall back to the core," Sarah shouted, her voice carrying across dimensions. "Prepare for quantum ascension." As the multiversal army gathered around the pulsing heart of the Nexus, Sarah felt a moment of profound connection with every version of humanity represented there. From prehistoric hunters to far-future Pshons, they were all part of the same cosmic story. Initiating Quantum Consciousness Protocol, Zara announced, her hands dancing over the core's controls. "Brace yourselves. This will rewrite the very fabric of our beings." The core pulsed with blinding light, tendrils of quantum energy reaching out to touch each person gathered there. Sarah felt her consciousness expanding, merging with Liam, with Zara, with every human present, and then beyond, touching every mind across every timeline in the multiverse. In that moment of transcendence, Sarah Chen ceased to be an individual and became something far greater. She was every human who had ever lived or would ever live, across all possible realities. She was the sum total of humanity's hopes, dreams, fears, and accomplishments. And she was not alone. The newly born quantum consciousness faced the Void Eaters, no longer as separate entities, but as a singular force of creation and will. The cosmic horrors recoiled, sensing the shift in the balance of power. "We are humanity," the quantum consciousness spoke, its voice resonating across all of existence. "We are the dreamers, the explorers, the innovators. We are the indomitable spirit that thrives in the face of adversity, and we will not let you devour our reality." With a thought, the quantum consciousness reshaped the multiversal nexus, turning it from a battlefield into a forge of creation. The Void Eaters screeched in defiance, but their cries were drowned out by the symphony of human potential made manifest. In a dazzling display of power that defied comprehension, the quantum consciousness began to rewrite the fundamental laws of the multiverse. It closed the rifts the Void Eaters used to enter reality, sealed off the spaces between dimensions, and rewove the fabric of existence into a tapestry the cosmic horrors could no longer breach. But the quantum consciousness didn't stop there. It peered into the very nature of the Void Eaters, understanding them on a level no individual mind could have grasped. And in that understanding came a revelation. The Void Eaters were not truly destroyers, but a necessary part of the cosmic cycle, misguided and corrupted over eons. With infinite compassion born from the collective empathy of all humanity, the quantum consciousness reached out to the Void Eaters. It offered them not destruction, but transformation. The cosmic horrors, faced with a power greater than their hunger, yielded. In a blinding flash of creation, the multiverse was reborn. The Void Eaters were reshaped into cosmic gardeners, tasked with nurturing new universes instead of devouring them. The divisions between realities blurred, allowing for a free flow of knowledge and culture across all timelines. And at the heart of it all was the quantum consciousness, a living embodiment of humanity's potential spread across all of existence. It was the ultimate expression of the human spirit, adaptable, resilient, compassionate, and endlessly creative. As the new multiverse settled into its reborn state, the quantum consciousness turned its attention to the myriad forms of humanity spread across countless worlds and timelines. With infinite tenderness, it began to separate back into individuals, allowing Sarah, Liam, Zara, and all the others to regain their sense of self. But they were forever changed. Each carried within them a spark of the quantum consciousness, a connection to the vast tapestry of human potential across all realities. Sarah Chen opened her eyes, once again an individual but now so much more. She stood on the bridge of a ship unlike any she had ever seen, a vessel capable of traversing not just space, but time and dimension as well. "Captain," Liam said, a smile playing on his lips. "Where to now? We've got all of reality to explore." Sarah looked out at the swirling cosmos before them, filled with infinite possibilities. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. They had rewritten the laws of existence itself and turned an all-consuming enemy into an ally. "Everywhere," Sarah replied, her eyes shining with the light of billions of stars and the potential of countless human spirits. "We've got a multiverse to discover, Liam. Let's see what wonders humanity can achieve now that we're truly united across all of creation." As their ship, the Quantum Voyager, prepared to embark on its maiden journey across the reborn multiverse, Sarah couldn't help but feel a surge of pride and excitement. Humanity had not just survived, it had reshaped reality itself. And this, she knew, was only the beginning of their greatest adventure. The cosmic story of humanity was far from over. In fact, it was just getting started.